Today, the ground search for 5-year-old Summer Wells is not nearly as visible to the public as it was 1 month ago.
But the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office describes the search for the child as active and intense. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says as of today it's received 970 tips. No credible leads, though, in the search for the missing child.
News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel talked with emergency teams about their role in the search and where it stands now. Ansley?
Josh and Sarah, the incident commander for ground search operations told me that just because the search for Summer Wells was scaled back in June, his team has not quit looking for the missing 5-year-old.
There's been very limited ground searching since the scaling back. Right now, in essence, all we're pretty much going off of, like I said, is anything credible leads, credible information. Officials announced on June 27th that the ground search for Summer Wells would be on an as-needed basis. I don't feel like that I made the decision to quit. We haven't quit. It was just we had to scale back, get our bearings back together, allow these people to rest and recuperate, to figure out where can we go next, what can we hit aggressively next, what can we do to find Summer Wells? Tim Coop led almost 1,200 people from 120 different agencies during the 13-day search in the Beech Creek community. That call to scale back still weighs heavy. Speaking with command staff, speaking to subject matter experts that were involved from other agencies, out of state, getting together every day. Hey, this is what we've covered. This is the probability. This is putting all these things together to make the decision. I can say made the decision easier, but it didn't. Still, at the end of the day, it was very difficult to make the decision of scaling back operations to only go off of credible leads. Coop is still working with authorities as tips come in and is in touch with those who assisted from in and out of state. He assures that every crew is ready whenever the call comes. Even if it's ground that has already been searched 1 to multiple times, be in contact with TBI, Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, if it's something they feel as though needs to be a credible search, needs to go back in and look over things again, we're right there with them.
Captain Coop told me that the search for Summer Wells has impacted his teams physically, mentally, and emotionally. You'll hear more about the help available to them tonight at 6. Josh?
Again, anyone with information about where Summer is, call 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tips@tbi.tn.gov.
Reported disappearance. The rescue squad also created a reward fund in the county in June of 2021. There has been an active Amber Alert ever since. The Churchill Rescue Squad was in charge of a massive ground search in the days following her reported disappearance. The rescue squad also created a reward fund that was set to expire and go to the Children's Advocacy Center that covers the area in which Summer lives. It's now the center of a civil lawsuit. Since our last update, the Children's Advocacy Center has filed an answer asking the judge to make them the beneficiary of the $40,000+ fund. Summer's parents, Don and Candus Wells, have been added as defendants. Ansley Daniel is in the studio to help bring us up to speed and break down what exactly this means. Ansley?
Well, Sarah, the case over this reward fund has been confusing to say the least. Now, the Church Home Rescue Squad and the Children's Advocacy Center are just hoping that this can be settled and the focus can be put back on fighting Summer Wells.
The Churchill Rescue Squad filed a lawsuit on June 30th asking for the judge to determine who gets the $40,305 and some change of the Summer Wells Reward Fund.
If it wasn't used for that specific purpose, that they'll get a refund. Or did they understand if it's not used for that specific purpose, it's going to go to CAC? I think that's the issue to determine.
Joseph McMurray is a Kingsport attorney not affiliated with the case. He says in order for the judge to have a valid ruling, all parties who could have a claim on the money in the fund must be notified.
You have to comply with one thing, and that is doing your due diligence. If they do have an address, telephone number, or any information on some of these donors, they would have to exhaust reasonable efforts in order to locate these individuals.
The only defendant named in the lawsuit to file an official response is the Children's Advocacy Center, asking the judge to grant them the money. The rescue squad's attorney also filed a motion adding Don and Candus Wells as defendants in the case.
I can only speculate, but after contemplating the lawsuits and thinking it over, Potentially, I suppose some of the parties actually considered that maybe Don Wells or Candus Wells has some kind of interest in this money.
The Wells declined an interview with News Channel 11, but a spokesperson did release a statement saying in part, the Wells have remained separate from the reward fund from the beginning. Their only request in the past was that the timeline be extended. At this time, they prefer to have nothing to do with the issue and did not request nor give any affirmation that they would like to be a defendant or plaintiff in any matter concerning the Summer Wells reward fund. However, they will comply to the court document if the matter is not resolved. So, what's next? Alan Coop, the attorney for the Churchill Rescue Squad, declined to comment on the suit, but he did send a letter saying that a notice of service by publication will appear in the Rogersville Review.
After this runs and after 30 days has expired, the judge would be able to adjudicate the rights of these individuals. Whether or not it's a fake name, whether or not they read the paper, they have checked all the boxes in order for the judge to be in a place where he can make a ruling and it would actually stick.
That letter from the rescue squad's attorney said that they hope this will be placed on the court's docket in February of 2023. The Children's Advocacy Center's director declined to comment since this involves pending litigation.
Ansley, thanks. An Amber Alert remains active for Summer Wells. If you have credible information that could help find her, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Tonight, the rescue squad in charge of the Summer Wells Reward Fund is taking it to the court.
Yeah, the Churchill Rescue Squad asked a judge to halt further donations and determine what to do with the $40,000 in reward money in its possession. They said what's known as a legal term such as a declaratory judgment was needed from a Hawkins County judge.
John Janko spoke with a local attorney about what that lawsuit means for the reward money.
The Churchill Rescue Squad's lawsuit lists multiple defendants, all with connections to the Summer Wells Reward Fund. Irwin attorney Lois Schultz-Davis says a declaratory judgment would sort that money out among the parties.
They want to give relief to everyone so that they can know what their rights and privileges are, where they stand basically with regard to the controversy.
Schultz-Davis says declaratory judgments are used to settle issues not fitting of standard lawsuits. In this case, the rescue squad seeks an interpleader.
And the idea with an interpleader is that you'll bring in anyone into that lawsuit that needs to be involved in it in order to resolve these issues and determine with certainty that the plaintiff is acting appropriately and what it does with the money.
That means bringing in all entities with ties to the money as defendants. That includes the Children's Advocacy Center of the 3rd Judicial District, the planned recipient of the funds, and any reward fund donors and interested parties.
They're pleading it into the court to say, we don't know what to do with this money, so court, you take it and determine all the rights of the parties and what needs to be done.
But 2 additional defendants are listed, Fiona O'Connor and Kiana Carlock. Carlock contributed $32,000 to the reward fund, but in an attached document to the suit, O'Connor alleges it was improperly raised without prior consent of the rescue squad. In a statement to News Channel 11, Carlock says her contribution came from honest donations from verifiable people and that it should still be given to the person leading to the recovery of Summer Wells. Schultz-Davis says listing Carlock, O'Connor, and all other parties in the request for declaratory judgment protects the rescue squad from further lawsuits.
They want to make sure that what they do has the stamp of approval of the court and that they've done the right thing with the money and not paid it out in a way that's not appropriate.
For News Channel 11, John Jenko.
So tonight, the search for Summer Wells continues. Schultz-Davis told us part of the request for that interpleader involves a 4-week period of notification in the Rogersville newspaper for any donors to come forward. And we've learned now Summer Wells Reward Fund has less donations than previously announced. Back in December, the rescue squad said the fund was about $74,000. Court documents now show the fund's just over $40,000 after a check for $25,000 and a different check for $10,000 were returned to the you. Again, anyone with information about where summer is, call 1-800-TBI-FIND or email tips to TBI@tn.gov.